Hey, what's up, everyone? It's your friendly neighborhood YouTuber, and we are back at it again, guys, with another amazing, stupendous, out of this world action figure review starring this gentleman right here. We have the Martian Manhunter from DC Direct. Now, let me tell you a little bit of a story of how I came upon this guy. This was a figure that I found on the internet. I wasn't really too familiar with Martian Manhunter. I'll have to admit to you guys, I really didn't know much about him. I'm not so familiar with the DC universe as I am with the Marvel universe. But then again, the Marvel universe always seems to surprise me and bring out a new character that I've never heard before, and then and then that's Marvel. Marvel is a huge universe. DC is, they have, their Justice League characters, and then there's, figures or characters like these that are not really well known. Of course, if you're familiar with DC, the Justice League, Flash, and Aquaman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and if I've left out anybody, Superman and Green Lantern actually was supposed to be part of the Justice League as well, but for some reason Green Lantern never made it in the Justice League. And then you have Martian Manhunter right here, who's not really well known, but who's an awesome character in the DC universe. Now, this figure right here actually came out probably about, maybe, I would like to say maybe about 6-7 years ago. He's not a new figure, but I didn't even know this figure existed until I actually found him. And he's actually one of the best, in my opinion, one of the best Martian Manhunters out there. Even though his articulation is a little bit flawed, and I bought him loose, so he is a used figure. But nonetheless, I love the color and overall detail of this Martian Manhunter. So let's check out the detail, and maybe one of the reasons why I was attracted to this Martian Manhunter is maybe the X going down his chest. But the overall color of this Martian Manhunter and the design of this figure, this character, well, this figure in particular, they just did an amazing job with this figure. Now, the overall dark blue, and then the red combined with the light blue, and then like the red, red stripes here and there, just really add to the character. And then you throw in his green gigantic alien head. I think is a really it really takes the character to another level, and give him the red eyes as well. The green head pretty much stands out the most. That's one of the things that I love about Martian Manhunter, is the green alien head. The overall design of this figure, they did an amazing job. Like I said, if you have other Martian Manhunters, or if you're not familiar with Martian Manhunter, other figures of him are not done as great as this figure right here. Now, as I was talking about his articulation before, his articulation is a little bit hindered, and it's a little bit dated. It's kind of like your 90s typical action figure, but with a little bit more. Because of his cape right here and the way it's designed, it is a rubber, but right here it's kind of a hard rubber, so you can't really get his arms to extend out that much. So it's kind of hindered by the cape. Nonetheless, I don't really care. It affects his articulation, but it more than makes up for his design. Bends here at the elbows, nothing at the wrists. So he has nothing at the wrists. He has your typical 90s articulation, even though he's not from the 90s. And the way he is designed, there is no waist swivel at all. He is what he is. Now, as far as his legs are designed, they can't extend outwards. They can't do a split because of the way his hips are designed right there. As you can see, he only can lift upwards, and he has a knee bend, and he has breaks here at the shins, at the boot part. And that's pretty much the only articulation that he has other than his head, which is on a ball joint, so you can get his head in some pretty good movements here and there. So overall, I think this is going to be a short review because there's nothing much to review for this figure, but that's one thing I like about this figure is that he is what he is. He doesn't try to be anything that he's not. And the design of this figure, even though it's flawed because of the articulation, the overall design of this Martian Manhunter, I think, is one of the best that DC has ever done. So let's take out the tape measure, let's measure this figure, and I'm going to go ahead and rate him and let you know how awesome I think he is. So let's back him up right here. And also you see the red trim too, right there where his brakes are. And the boots. I love the overall design of the costume. I think they did an amazing job with the costume. DC Direct. So he stands just a little bit over 6.5 inches because his head, back of his head, seems to go a little bit upwards. So he's a little bit under 6.5 inches, guys. Okay, so what do I think of this Martian Manhunter? I think he's really, really, really awesome. Why the DC Universe has never brought this guy to the big screen. Well, they never brought Darkseid to the DC Universe, which is a shame. I definitely would love to see him and also Martian Manhunter into the DCU. I believe he was on. He made an appearance on Supergirl. I can't remember what other TV shows he's been in, but I don't think he's ever made his appearance on the big screen, and that's a shame because he's an awesome, awesome figure. And I highly recommend this, guys. If you love DC figures, if you're familiar with Martian Manhunter, or even if you're not familiar with Martian Manhunter like myself, you know, he's definitely an awesome piece to add to your DC collection if you collect DC figures. So on a scale from 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest, I'm definitely going to have to give this guy, I'm going to give him a solid 8. Just by overall look. Articulation is not that great. He's an older figure. He is a DC figure. But overall, he's a very, very nicely detailed figure. The robe, the coat, however you want to look at it, his cape. I love the way it goes over his shoulders and goes down. The torso, the body is very well done. The face is very well done. The body sculpt is very well done. The overall wardrobe, excuse me, is like really, really loud out here because I got a big old dump truck driving by my house. But overall, the design of this Martian Manhunter is done very, very nicely. The cape is done very, very nicely. Even though it's a rubber cape, they take full advantage of what it does as opposed to what a cloth cape can do. And I love how the cape goes into his collar and turns it into another piece of like wardrobe for his neck, head area. It just makes him look more awesome. So overall design, I really, really love. You know, I think if you take away the head and the cape and you look at the body, he kind of has like a X Factor look. You know, he could be like a member of the X Factor from Marvel. But he's not. He's Martian Manhunter. And I love the overall design. I really recommend this figure. If you guys collect DC, even if you don't collect DC, I think you definitely would like this figure because I think he's definitely unique and interesting. And he's definitely worth a pickup. And he'll definitely go great with your collection of DC figures because I'm pretty sure you guys collect DC figures because everybody loves Batman. How can you not love Batman? You got to have Batman, you got to have Superman in your collection if you're a collector. And I highly recommend this Martian Manhunter in your collection. And we'll go ahead and leave it at that, guys. Tell me what you think of this Martian Manhunter. He was worth a review today. I figure I would do a review for him. And let me know your overall thoughts. We'll do a little bit of a close-up of this Martian Manhunter. Great design. Great action figure. I recommend this piece. So if you like this little review, hit the like button, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell if you want to receive more cool, awesome reviews like this. And there you guys have it. There was my little review of Martian Manhunter from DC Directs. Just want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye!